What's up, guys? Doofus Mcdooface here with another unit breakdown. We are now to our tier 2s, and the tier 2 we'll be taking a look at is Ranger. Ranger is a fantastic tier 2, and that's because it's pretty much good the whole game, right? Most tier 2s are going to be nearly good the whole game, but Ranger has some really good stuff. So, the basics, where I place Ranger, I use it either like with a POTA or just by itself. Like you can start a Ranger too. So like I would always do it there, right? Because I had my POTA there. But if I'm just purely starting a Daphne, right? Purely starting a Daphne, I go right there. It's perfect. And you want to use its health pool like anything, right? So of course I'm gonna have it up here. And I'd probably have a cat, right? Picked a role that is decent. I'd have a cat somewhere back here. And if it's just wave 3, I don't really need an additional split on the side. So just be like cat stack right there, right? Wave 3. There's a snail. Something like this is going to do pretty good. Right? The Daphne's going to tank a little bit. Right? Nice 50-50 split. Probably going to leak a little bit, right? It's a good size send. And the cat is only 1 stack. But now I'm 7 workers. Right? Now I'm 7 workers at that point. And that's also, I possibly could have gotten a split, you know. That was only 270 gold. But that's usually how I use the Daph, right? If I'm going to start it. Which I think I've got a couple of starts with the Daphne. Another way people use the Daphne is with like Flower, right? Flower Ranger, full shift wave 3, Daphne on 4, right? Now you do have to be careful that your Ranger doesn't die on wave 2, because if somehow they get a DT, gotta be a little careful, right? But I think you always hold that. But that's just sort of the basics of like just throwing everything out at you guys. Daphne's probably best wave is wave 10, right? If you have Daphne on wave 10, it's just incredible. Each attack amplifies all damage taken by 1.5 to bosses, stacking up to 10 times. Also has some bonus damage stuff. You would like to have 3 Daphnes. If you can have 3 Daphnes an entire game, not on wave 10. If you have 3 Daphnes, you really don't need any more the whole game, right? Maybe a couple more Rangers, but 3 Daphs is pretty much maximizing your stackability of the bonus, the mark target. 3 Daphs gets your maximum damage output. And yeah, I mean, which waves is it not good? I mean, there's only a few waves. Daphne is not that great. Safety mode, of course, is the counter, but we'll get there. So right off the bat, you start Daphne on 1, you're fine. Daphne on 2, you're fine. I honestly don't think you can leak on wave 2 to a lizard. And once again, you would not care. Because now you're 6 workers, something crazy like that. 3, it's okay, right? Lizards do shred it, as you can see. If you have it pro tanking, a lizard can kill it. Instead of having like that god POTA tank. So maybe I needed the cat a little higher. So that it tanked the lizard, but it tanked less of the creep. So yeah, wave 3 is eh. Wave 4, of course, one of the best waves, right? Whenever you have a flower and you're scared of that wave 4, you pop a Daphne. It's ball game. Now wave 5, I think it's decent. Wave 5. You know, I know it's pure Swift, which is not good on 5. But I think the reason that Daphne's good on 5 is to kill the boss, right? If you can have the Daphne tank the boss on 5, once again, if you have a flower or any type of AoE, right, that isn't single target damage, Daphne's going to help you to take out the boss. And it's perfect where it just tanks the boss, right? If you have your split correct, the Daphne's range is so far, right, 700, that it can perfectly tank the boss. It's always going to kill it before it dies. as long as there's not a bunch of other crap on them. So it's gonna be really tasty. 6, it's really good. Can almost tank 3 Roccos. Almost the 50-50 split would work. But of course, as you get deeper in the game, now you need to lift your split, right? Now wave 6, wave 7, wave 8, right? Your Daphne almost shouldn't be tanking anymore, right? Maybe it tanks like 1 or 2 creeps, right? I mean, let's just... we've got 3 Daphs. Actually, let's just... Alright, there's some Rangers. Alright, let's try like a bunk. Right there. I'm pretty sure wave 7 that Daphne is dead. Right? Because this is going to pull about half, if not a little bit more. And I don't know. Because of course the Daphne is going to attack what the bunk is killing. It's doing a really good job of split tanking. But had you actually received a send, that's a little bit too much, right? That's a little bit too much. God bunk. Same thing with wave 8. Oh, I'm on wave 8. I don't know why. Wave 8, it's going to tank close to perfect. Right? That's close to perfect. If it kills the creeps, then it's fantastic. Right? If it was killing those, it would live. But because it's not, it's dead. And if you're receiving a big send on wave 8, and one of your top DPSs dies, oof, that is not very good. So yeah, 7 and 8's good, but you need to stop having it tank a lot, right? Because it's got the pierce damage. Wave 10 is the best wave in the game. Wave 11, awful. 12, it's decent because it's pierce. 13's not bad, but like by wave 13 and later, Daphne should have no place as one of your important units, right? Should have no place as one of your important units. The only real wave that you should use it post 13, or I guess 14, would be like 20, right? Yeah, you can add some Daphnes on 19, but hopefully you've got some like fortified, better pierce, you know, anything but Daphnes. But wave 20, I really think it's beneficial. It truly is beneficial to have the 3 Daphnes, right? It truly is beneficial to have 3 Daphnes on the boss. All right, and counters to the Daphne. Well, you've got to go with lizards early, right? Lizards early, snails, never DTs, right? DTs suck. DTs get destroyed by Daphnes. But yeah, like the first couple of waves, if you can't get the lizard, you could 3 snail. But as you saw, like lizard snail is going to be your send on wave 3. Especially if they have a split like this. Right, if they're going to use the Daphne as a tank on wave 3, Lizard will take it out. Same thing with wave 4. If you are going to try wave 4 and they've showed Ranger, your probably best bet is going to be Lizards and then Snails if you have them. Snails because they sort of get stuck on them, right? They can't kill them that quick. But if you can send Lizards and just kill the Daphne outright, well, that's the best of all scenarios. Brutes into them, right? Normally you're not going to send a Brute into a Daphne just because, well, I mean, it sucks, right? Impact into Swift sucks, but also just because you're not really sending at a Daphne as the game goes on. By the time you have Mythium for a Brute, you're not going to be sending at a Daphne, right? If you're sending wave 6, I mean, I guess if they only have Daphnes, but then you just go all lizards, you know? So, safety mole is going to be your best end, right? Safety mole is your best end once you're actually sending nasty. I mean, a safety mole into this on 7 is just nuts. I couldn't imagine receiving a safety mole on 7 into this. Whew. Right? Because now that damage isn't working. That damage isn't working. But remember, we're focused on the Daphne here. So yeah, safety mole. If you're really getting nasty, Siege Ram on 10, Siege Ram on 11, incredible, right? Those are some of the nastiest ends you can do. A Siege Ram on 10, the amazing Daphnes are fucked. Right? And then We do that. Just actually, we can. Alright, we're receiving a Siege Ram on wave 10. Let's see how long it takes. Now, I have 3 Daphnes. I have a Banana Haven, right? I have incredibly great stuff. And as long as you just send the Siege Ram, it's going to target the Siege Ram. Like, that Siege Ram is still just kicking. I have a full Haven. The Siege Ram barely dies, right? Now, because it's 3 Daphnes, they still get it pretty low. But that is literally, I had perfect units for wave 10. 3 Daphs and a full Banana Haven. And the Siege Ram just annihilated it, right? So, Siege Ram is amazing. Those are probably going to be your best ends. Yeah, Lizard, Snails. Dinos are okay too. If you want to income on wave 10, you could just do Dinos. It just takes a while to kill them, right? And I guess they are bad in the natural, but more so just takes a while to kill them. It's not so much their typing as much as it's just a tank that they have to kill before they can kill the boss, right? And that's all you want, is you want the Daphnes to not be able to target the boss. Or if they are targeting the boss, you need a safety bull, right? I don't know how many times I've been upset that people send like a 4 eyes. You know, we go for this big wave 10 send, and your teammate has sent a 4 eyes on 10, and we're already showing 2 Daphnes, and you're like, bro, why 4 eyes? And they're like, oh, I wanted to get through the Haven fast. But he has Daphnes, right? The Daphnes get through the boss fast, you know? So, something like that is a bit upsetting. But I think, Legion spells. These are actually great Legion spell players. You're gonna want to go Pulv, right? A Pulv, a Glacial. Sometimes I do Protector, but I won't recommend that, right? Pulverizer on this is so tasty. It's so fast, right? But if you do have these doing Pulv or Glacial, right, which means you're pretty much unkillable wave 12. If you do Pulv or Glacial on your Daphne, don't let it die, right? Now it can never tank. Don't even let it tank 1 creep. Because if you lose out on Pulv or Glacial, I mean, you've just lost so much of your damage, right? So much of your damage. So definitely be careful about that, right? If you do choose to do it because it's the farthest back damage, it's a really fast one, right? It's a really fast attacker. Really fast single target. Make sure it doesn't die. Because if it dies, now you look stupid. Right? Like wave 11 here. Right? Oh, this is so awesome. I've got Pulverizer. Oh, I've got Pulverizer. Yeah, I got off 1 shot of Pulv. I got off 1 shot of Pulverizer there. But I really enjoy the Daphne. Because once again, it's really good for Poda. Rarely do I ever do like a flower roll, but if I do flower rolls, if I do flower rolls, it's very helpful, right? Because with like flower mask, you can get punished on 5, but with Daphne, not so much. How many opens do I have with it? Oh wow. I mean, it's 3-in-1, 3-in-1 with Daphne. Pretty elite when I open it. Just haven't opened it that many times. And I'm shooting 50% with them, right? I use it a lot. 83 and 82. I do use Daphne a lot. But as the game gets later, they're not as great, right? They're pretty much just used for that ability to ramp everybody else's damage as opposed to them doing a lot of damage. But I think that's it for Daphne. And I'll see you guys in the next T2. See ya.